Welcome back, everybody, to the MillerFootball channel. If you don't know who I am by now, my name is David. I also go by MillerFootball, and today we are going to be doing our first mock draft of the 2026 NFL offseason. We've got the draft just under a week away, and I am joined here by three very special guests. My co-hosts over at the kind of defunct, kind of not Bear Down Boys podcast, where for the last, 2 years now, we have done one mock draft for the entirety, 3 years. We've done one mock draft, and that has been our only content. But unfortunately, this year, it would seem that YouTube hates us and, deactivated the channel? Is that what happened? Yeah, so...
But the account is deactivated.
Yeah, we can't get into the account. The channel is up. So because of that, we're putting it on here because I'm the only person here who makes NFL content outside of that podcast. And also, I wanted to upload something this weekend. So I hope this goes up this weekend. We'll find out. But anyways, we're going to be doing a mock draft. We're going to go around the turn here, however you want to put it. I'm going to be every first pick. Jarrett, to my right here, will be every second pick. Nicole will be every third pick, and then Grayson there at the end will be every fourth pick. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and ask, how's everyone doing today before we get into the mock? We doing good?
Very good. 10 out of 10.
Doing great. For my fireworks.
I'm here.
All right, great. That was definitely the first time we recorded that intro. All right, so first pick, Raiders. Self-explanatory. Not going to spend a ton of time on this one. We all know they are going with Fernando Mendoza, who is the best quarterback in this class, the only quarterback that, for me, has a true first-round grade, somebody who is a very effective, very accurate pocket passer, very, very good on that deep ball, especially when throwing back shoulder fades. The Raiders need their quarterback. Mendoza, I think, can be a franchise guy. Sure, he doesn't fit the mold of like the prototypical modern quarterback that's like this super do-it-all type of guy, but as far as pocket passers are concerned, he will step into the league and probably pretty quickly be one of the better pure pocket passers. But with that, Jarrett, Jets, number 2.
So this is kind of where the draft actually starts because, again, everyone knows Mendoza's going number 1. So for most of the mocks I've seen, the Jets usually go Arbel Reese from Ohio State. Basically, I don't think I've seen a single mock where that wasn't the case. But, so that's not where I'm going to go because there is a player who is an edge rusher who I like more personally, who I've seen go as high as like 3 or seen, fall in the draft due to like arm length concerns and whatnot. I'm actually going to go with Ruben Bain out of Miami at number 2.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay.
Thoughts on the picks, guys?
We should give our thoughts on the picks.
Yeah, well, the Bain thing, he's fallen down most boards I've seen because of the recent things that have come out.
Yeah, no, the teams have known about that like since it happened. That's not like a new thing for them, so I don't think that'll affect his draft stock. And also, like, I mean, most of the thing with the sliding is because I saw a tweet on it. Statistically, he's like, there's been no one with like as arms as short as his has ever even like made a Pro Bowl or anything, like basically been successful.
That's been recorded, mind you. There have been guys that like may have been on a similar trajectory that just didn't have their length recorded. Like James Harrison, his arms allegedly would have measured in very, very close to what Ruben Bain had. And James Harrison was a very, very good football player.
I didn't even know that part, but
yeah.
So the reason I went with Bain going this high is, so while that is a good point, so whenever you use these things called your eyes and you watch them play the sport of football and they look like they're really good at the sport of football, I'm not going to be like, well, actually, their arms are short, so they're not really that good. That's not how that works. I'm doing the eye test here. Mm-hmm. He's a good football player. I don't think it's going to hinder him in, his NFL career. There's a bunch of players who have random concerns. I mean, Aaron Donald was viewed as like too small for the position, and he's, in my opinion, the best defensive player of all time. So like it happens. So I think Bain at 2 makes a lot of sense.
The thing with arm length, I feel that people tend to forget is it's not like the end all be all of success for a defensive lineman. Like, yeah, it helps to have 34, 35 inch arms. Absolutely. However, what it really does is it limits your margin for error as a pass rusher with your hand usage. And with a guy like Bain, who is so precise, so accurate with his hand usage, has so many, tools in his bag, so to speak, arm length really isn't a huge issue. Like, yeah, sure, there will be times where offensive tackles with super long arms will be able to get their hands in his chest, but that's true for any edge rusher, right? So as long as Ruben Bain can continue with his hands and, kind of translate that to the next level, I don't think his length will be a big deal either. I really like him at 2. I think he's the best edge rusher in this class, even with the legal issues, because the gap between 1 and 2, for me at least, was pretty decent.
Bane's also my number 1 edge rusher, hence why I picked him this early.
Yeah.
I like Bane a lot.
Yeah, he's my number 1 edge rusher by a wide margin. I think, and I'll say it with the Cardinals too if I don't trade out. Ooh. I would take either of those. Like, I think Bane or on the other side of the ball, Marioga are like 2 top 5 draft picks easy, and I think people are overthinking it. But it will be really interesting if the Jets go this route. I don't think they do. I think that it's what they should do. I don't think it's what they do. I think they go Bailey or Reese. As a part-time Cardinals fan, I really hope they go Bailey. Just please take him away. Too many Cardinals fans want him. They're overthinking Bane and the short arms thing. He's so good.
I mean, he's a good run defender too. I know we didn't really bring that up, but like he knows what he's doing against the run. He's not like super physically dominant or anything like that, but he can hold his own. He can set the edge, read a gap. Like, he's a really good all-around football player.
I was going to take him with the Titans because I thought it'd be fun to have Cam Ward on one side and Ruben Bain on the other. Kind of
having saviors of Miami.
Yeah, in Tennessee.
Well, I just ruined your hopes and dreams. So
yeah, you do that constantly.
So many reports have the Cardinals trading out, which is something, as we've seen in this is year 3 of Monty Ossenfort, something he likes to do, and I think he does it. If we'll play what ifs here. If they don't do it, I think it's Jeremiah Love, but I think they trade out. So Grayson, you're moving on up.
All
you
right.
don't have a choice.
Apparently I don't.
You will be moving on up.
It's Cardinals, Cowboys. I think that's a trade. I think that's how it goes down. Both first.
I was just throwing things.
Okay.
You got to give me both first.
Dallas at number 3 then, trading away both their first-round picks. Grayson, what is the thought process here?
Oh, I know Jerry, and Jerry likes glam. Jerry loves to have something that's nice and pretty in the backfield. Where the fuck is he? Jeremiah Love, you're a fucking Dallas Cowboy.
Right after extending Javonte Williams?
Yes, he's a significantly better runner than Javonte.
Yeah, but Javonte Williams is a 1,000-yard back, and the Cowboys have like significant holes on their defense.
I don't think you understand what Jerry likes.
Okay,
Jerry likes.
Grayson, I understand that,
He's
but we
still going
established.
defense, dog.
We
He's still
established
He's
before
also
we
a
started.
senile man.
Listen. We established before we were recording. Sorry, words. We were not doing a. This is what we think will happen. It's what we would do. If you were in the Cowboys front office right now, you trade both first-round picks for a running back?
I know Jerry, at least.
Okay.
This isn't Jerry. This is Grayson.
I was going to say,
This
this
is
is
Grayson.
Jerry, bro.
If it's me,
And also
I'm
it's
going
not what he's
Sonny
gonna
Styles. I think he's
First,
like,
I was going to... Yeah. And also, you don't think Jerry would like to turn around and say, oh, I traded Micah Parsons, but guess what? Here's a new, big, flashy, exciting defensive piece to make you guys forget about that guy. Woo!
yeah, he did with Roshan Gary.
All right, guys, time to wrap up the podcast.
All right. Say real quick, Jeremiah Love is an incredible football player. Like, for my money, he is top 5 running back that's come out in the last 10 years. He's one of the 3 best players in this class, in my opinion. He is a tremendous back who, as a runner, has a little bit of everything, even underrated, I would say, power profile for his size. He's a great pass catcher. Like, he is truly a do-it-all weapon that can make a true difference at the NFL level. I just think it's crazy to trade 2 first-round picks to go up and get a running back when you have a 1,000-yard rusher in the backfield and your defense is littered with holes.
Is that a Matt Eberflus issue, or is that the player?
It was both.
Issue?
I was going to say, it
I
could
don't
be a
even think it's like
combined
the
effort.
most horrendous defensive coordinator of all time, but they also had absolutely no talent across that defense last year.
Right, Kenny Clark.
Listen.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay,
They have talented players on defense.
Kenny Clark
but-
There
versus the
wasn't
world.
much for Eberflus to work with, but he still didn't do anything with that. So it was combined effort. Like, there was just not a soul that was in position.
Like, I'm
good
telling-
position.
You could have taken any of the 3 Ohio State guys here, and they would be like a perfect plug-and-play fit. Like, you've got Shamar James starting, Rashawn Gary starting. Who else am I missing here? You've got Jalen Thompson and Malik Hooker as your two safeties, which Jalen Thompson is fine, but would be a lot better as a third safety. Their nickel is Reddy Stewart. Like,
Chicago Bears legend.
yeah, I was going to say, he only has a job with the Cowboys because Matt Eberflus was, like, obsessed with him, dude. I don't know.
Hey,
I'm
man,
not
you
trying
end
to...
up picking that prepreseason, dog.
Yeah.
Legend.
Listen, I will say, very Jerry pick. I like your thought process is fine, but I just don't. I don't want to seem like I'm bullying you.
No,
Yeah.
you're fine. If Jerry Jones was unable to make a pick, they locked him in the closet or something.
There you go.
And someone else was taking control. They should take Sonny Styles here. I think he's the second best defensive player behind Ruben Bain.
Okay.
But we have Jerry Jones in the front office.
Okay. So your thought process is, as the GM, you want to do something different, but Jerry is still there breathing down your neck no matter what you want to do.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Fair. I accept that. That's fair.
I don't think it's what will happen, but God, it'd be so funny if it did.
It would be so this
It'd be
yeah.
so funny
And it
if
would be
did.
even funnier because technically speaking, we can't look back on this in 5 years and be like, God, what a horrible pick. It'll be like, God, he's so good for the Cowboys. Best running back they've had since prime Zeke. But also, like, imagine if they took a player in a position they needed. You know?
Imagine if they didn't give up 50 points a
Imagine
game.
imagine if they took Caleb Downs.
See, I feel like Miller kind of like, hit the nail on the head with like exactly what my thoughts were. Jeremiah Love, off the top of my head, probably like I'd have him as like third best player in the class.
He's
But
number 2 for me. Yeah.
not only like drafting running back that high, but trading 2 firsts to get a running back that high, even if you didn't have one, is still a lot to give for a player at that position. Again, Jeremiah Love, very good running back, going to be a great NFL player, but that is a lot to give up for. I know they're kind of like, we're getting back into the era of running backs having value again, but it's still like a pretty like non-valuable position, I guess you could say, and that is a lot to give up.
I will say, though, if you're going to make a move like this for a skill position player, it better be a blue chip skill position player. And I think Jeremiah Love is exactly that. So, like, if there was a running back to give up 2 first-round picks to go trade up for, Jeremiah Love would be on the short list.
Well, I'm also the Titans. So, speaking of Sonny Styles, I'm taking him here.
Oh, I see what he did. I see what he wanted the Titans to have Sonny Styles. It was all collusion.
Yes,
He
yeah,
colluded
obviously.
with himself.
Like I said, Sonny Styles is the second best defensive player in my opinion behind Ruben Bain. And since Jerry's going to be stupid and probably take something glamorous, honestly, I could see Jerry forgetting that he is George Pickens and taking Cardinal Tate.
I like how you say forgetting he has George Pickens, like George Pickens is the best receiver on that team. You didn't even mention CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, because it's because how do you forget
He's-
about 88? You can't forget about 88.
Grayson's
in
got
Dallas.
dementia is what it is.
No, because
He's senile.
no, Jerry puts people in 88 so he can remember is that he can't cut them or trade them.
You know what? Fair point.
Yeah, no, I like the Sonny Styles pick for the Titans. I mean, they need
Defense.
just like, yeah, I mean, they need defense as a whole for sure. But getting somebody that can wear the green dot for you, be the captain of that defense, be the primary communicator. Sonny Styles is such a freak athlete and somebody that could really make a difference. And the idea of running the ball against the Titans with Jeff Simmons in the middle, peeling back a gap for Sonny Styles to shoot through like a rocket, like that is a scary thought. And I will always be a big advocator for like one of the best things you can do for a rookie quarterback in terms of getting them support, or I should say a young quarterback in this instance, because Cam Ward will be a sophomore. One of the best things you can do for them is get them a defense so they don't feel pressured to put up 35 points a game. They don't feel like their back is against the wall the second they go down a touchdown. Like, I like this pick a lot. I think Sonny Styles has the potential to be like an all-time linebacker. And I think at the worst, he could easily be like a Tremaine Edmonds, which I know isn't a glamorous review, I guess is the word I'm looking for here. But we saw him firsthand for a couple years. He's a competent linebacker that, can be an important piece in your defense. So I like that pick for them quite a bit. With the Giants, though, I look at this football team and I say, okay, it's clear that they want to establish the run. they have Cam Scadaboo. They have Jackson Dart, who's a very good rushing quarterback. You bring in Pat Ricard. You bring in John Harbaugh and Greg Roman. You have the pieces to run the ball at everywhere except one specific position, which is why I'm going to go with Vega Ioane from Penn State, who I think is the best overall offensive lineman in this class. And people will probably look at that and say it's a little bit rich for him, but he is a road grader in the run game, moves guys off the ball consistently, and his hand usage as a pass blocker is tremendous. I don't care how low he is on the PFSN board, dude. He is the third best player in this class, in my opinion. I think he is absolutely tremendous. Only 21 years old. Like, he is a stud. He is an absolute monster. And getting him on your offensive line to, again, not only help you establish the run, but also be a tremendous pass blocker for the young Jackson Dart, I think is a huge win for this team. And I mean, their defense is already pretty damn good, so it's not like you got to address the defense. And a lot of the guys that I have high on my board right now would be defenders. So.
But yeah, I know I like the pick a lot. I don't scout offensive linemen like say Miller does. I've made that very known. When it comes to watching like college, I can scout most positions. Offensive line, that's the one where it's like I'm not familiar enough to know what exactly to be looking for. So I interest in Miller's opinion on it a lot, but from what I've seen, I do like him a lot.
So I don't know why he's so low, because like he is consensus first round pick, top guard in this class. I guess PFSN is just which is so stupid. Okay, again, firsthand as Bears fans, we know how much a really good guard can transform your offensive line. Granted, I was gonna say I don't think Ioane is necessarily Joe Tooney day one, but he's only 21 and has a lot of the traits that you want to see. And he's super exciting because, like, for a bigger offensive lineman, 330 pounds at 6'4", he's really quick off the ball, has really agile feet. Like, he genuinely does a little bit of everything and will put up highlight level run blocks. Like, have you guys seen the clip of him where he motions out as a slot, motions across the line, and lays out an edge rusher?
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my favorite clips from this past college football season. It was fucking awesome. And that's the kind of shit you get away with him. I wouldn't be surprised, as much as it hurts my heart to say it because of Ricard existing. I would not be shocked to see him get fullback snaps if he went to the Giants or to any team, really, because you put him out in front and I don't know, as the fullback guy, like I'm okay with that. I think he's got the mindset for it, and he can get my stamp of approval. I fuck with Vega Ioane like a lot.
So I had a thought going into this pick of where I was thinking of going, but based on how the field has fallen, I'll just say I was thinking Carnell Tate makes a lot of sense for Cleveland there. With Reese falling all the way to 6, I just feel like it's really, really hard for me to just say no to that. I know defense isn't necessarily a need as much as like a receiver would be. But whenever you can pair someone like that up with Myles Garrett on the other side, it's just best player available, which I know a lot of teams earlier in the draft don't tend to, go towards. But I just feel like if at this pick you can't pass on Reese if he falls to 6. So that's where I'm going to go.
I like that a lot, honestly, for them, especially because Cleveland's sitting on 2 first-round picks this year. And the first-round wide receiver talents, at least in my opinion, are plentiful. Like, there is a real chance that when they're picking at 24, Jordan Tyson is still sitting there. And that would be a huge get to not only find a true, like, partner in crime for Myles Garrett, as well as Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger in that front 7 for the Browns. But being able to get that offensive player later on. But Reese is really fun. The fact that he's like such a good hybrid player that can drop into coverage and play a little true linebacker. I know a lot of people are turned off by the clip of him trying to bend the corner in that one drill. But if you go and actually watch him on the field, the game tape from Ohio State, when he was able to play edge, there are a couple of plays where he shows flashes of good bend. And so if he's in that position more often, able to play off the edge full time, or at least 75% of the time, I think he can get a lot more comfortable there. And I think what's like most intriguing about Reese is he did an interview with Ben Solak like a week ago now, I think. where he was talking about how Ohio State didn't really teach him anything when it came to rushing the passer. They just kind of like let him off the leash to do whatever he wanted. With some real coaching, taking the untapped potential he has, because he looked like a freak at times when he was just doing whatever. If a coach can like help him build up a true pass rushing plan and help him diversify his arsenal, he can be a weapon. He can be a legitimate weapon off the edge. I like that pick a lot.
I might have taken Bailey or Reese. I don't know. I from what I've seen of Reese, I'm not as big of a fan. I've seen very little from Bailey, but I from what I've seen from Reese, I don't like. Okay,
I like
you know
Reese's
what, Miller?
He doesn't like David Bailey.
I hate David Bailey, bro.
Reese, I like his versatility. I just feel like that's also a plus. That, I mean, I feel like it is talked about quite a lot. But again, and then like learning from Myles Garrett would be huge. And I know Myles Garrett's not like nearing retirement or anything. He's coming off a Defensive Player of the Year, but you know he's getting older, and then so it kind of would help with lining up. So once he's gone, then you would have, hopefully, if you're picking him at 6, another potential like superstar edge rusher.
Yeah, like
to trade Myles Garrett to the Bears.
We can dream.
Say, like I talked about this when I did my top 10 edges video, but I like to think of edge rushers as Batman and Robin, right? Batman is Myles Garrett. Robin is like what Montez Sweat should be. He isn't right now because, organizational issues, but he should be a Robin. He should be that number 2 complementary piece. If Arvell Reese is the Robin to Myles Garrett's Batman, you're cooking with gas. And I'm going to appeal to Grayson here for a second. That's like Dick Grayson in Batman. That's like, you've got a guy over there who is going to start out as like, kind of like the naive. I don't want to literally say naive. I'm describing the character, not the player at this point, but kind of like the green, fresh set of eyes over there that can grow and blossom into somebody that I'm not going to say can be as good as Myles Garrett, because he might be the greatest defensive player of all time, but can absolutely have some comparable traits and abilities. So I like that.
Also, just think about how good that D-line would be with Garrett, Reese, Mason Graham.
And then Carson Schlesinger coming from the back to clean up against the run. My God.
And then 0 points.
Hey, if every game ends 0-0, that's 0 losses, baby. That's all they need.
They could really go either the side of the ball here. They're kind of in a funky position, a fun one from a draft fan perspective, but do you give Jaden Daniels a little more help? Terry, you almost had some issues there in the offseason. Regardless, he's still aging. But defensively, they were really rough last year. I think if Caleb Downs is still on the board here, I think you got to go with him. So I'm going to go Caleb Downs because I think they need they need the safety help. They kind of need man-to-man coverage, but Downs is just the best player available. And I think if you're the Commanders, you got to go with that. And he can provide a lot for that defense that they had no over-the-top help last year.
Obviously, I'm going to say I love the pick. I think I've made it very known, at least within the friend group. Caleb Downs is my favorite player in the entire draft. Since he got into college, I love him. I'm not an Ohio State fan. Listen, as a UT fan, I've watched them whoop on us every single time we play, and usually a huge factor in every single time we play the last couple years has been Caleb Downs. He is such an insane player. Like, Miller's going to have a lot more in-depth, critique of him, but just even Miller's like draft profile on him kind of hits the nail on the head. I've said that saying twice, which is insane. I don't think I've ever used it in my life until now. But he's just such a good player. He's, I don't think there's really many holes in his game whatsoever. And I think 5 years from now, I think it wouldn't be out of the question to say he ended up becoming the best player in the draft. I just think he's an insane talent. And Washington wouldn't be like my ideal place for him to go personally, but like, as a player, I think it would be insane, and then Washington would be very, very happy with a player of that caliber, especially at pick 7.
Yeah, I mean, for my money, Caleb Downs is the best player in this draft. He is the second best safety prospect I have seen, especially in my time, like, evaluating. It's him and Kyle Hamilton. Not in that order. Kyle Hamilton, I think, is number 1 pretty firmly, but, like, I look at Caleb Downs and I say, okay, we are in a time of positionless defense, especially in the secondary. You want guys that can wear multiple hats, do different things, come out in different spots and different formations. And you just brought in Nick Cross in free agency. So to get a guy like Caleb Downs and also have Quan Martin, that is such an exciting rotation of safety players who can do different things. You can come out with Downs as a true single high center fielder. He can be a split safety for you. He can come up in the box and play like true linebacker. He can play in the nickel. You can even rush him off the edge if you want to. Like that, and then also another player in their front seven that's positionless with Frankie Louvu, who can play linebacker, can play edge. That gives this Commanders defense so many different opportunities to put guys in different spots against different looks, different formations, different teams, and put them in the best scenario possible. Downs has the athleticism. He has the physicality. He really has the football IQ. He's one of the smartest defenders I have seen at the college level ever. He is tremendous. And the fact that we let him fall all the way to 7 kind of makes me upset. But I had to shoot my shot with Ioane because I wanted to take a guard really high because he's really freaking good. And obviously the Giants want to benefit from their offense. But I think adding Downs to this Commanders team would be absolutely massive. And if he doesn't go at 7, he would have won at 8. If he didn't go at 8, I would have taken him at 9. So he is tremendous. He is an absolutely tremendous football player.
What I was going to say, I just did some like basic research on like the Saints depth chart because I wasn't sure how it looked right now. Post free agency, but if Caleb Downs was sitting there would have been no second down in my mind just to take him. Yeah. I don't care who else is on the board. I don't care what your depth chart looks like. You take him if you're sitting at 8 and he's just there for you. Speaking of though, I did a little basic research on the rankings last year. Their defense is still fairly solid. They have Khalid McKinstry and Alontae Terry that you can put. You can be happy at corner. You're not going to be like, it's not spectacular. It's not a great corner group, but it's better than your wide receiver group, which is Chris Olave and Dante Pettis. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
So
here's legend.
And then give Tyler Shuck some help out there.
Shuck.
So he doesn't have the Shuck.
It's Tyler Shuck, like you do with the corn.
All right. Well, he can shuck off and. Instead of just killing Chris Olave, get the other Ohio State wide receiver and get Carnell Tate in New Orleans.
Yeah, I considered this with the Commanders too. It was between like him and Tyson at wide receiver because I think Jaden didn't ever play with Tyson, but he still has a little bit of that ASU love in him where I think he could be like, hey, he's really like, he's got Rashad there, like Rashad White. The injury concern is real, and that is something NFL GMs are going to take note of, and I think it is going to scare them off enough that he's going to be lower than he probably would be otherwise. I think he's going to be a steal, but yeah, I think Tate is in him and Olave, that Ohio State wide receivers, you really can't go wrong.
Unless you're the Cardinals.
Hey, just wait. Jacoby Brissett's going to open that. It's going to be great.
Isn't he like holding out now or something?
Yeah. I like this pick quite a bit for the Saints. I think this is a really good one because you look at their depth chart, like you said, it's Chris Olave and then like us out there running routes for him.
Whoa.
And
I would be a great receiver.
Jarrett, I have no doubt. But I do think Carnell Tate would be a little bit better. And what's really exciting about Tate is that he can fill that like true prototypical X mold, but he's not like your usual X receivers where you sacrifice the fluidity and the route running ability to go up and be a freaky 50-50 ball guy. Like Tate can haul in the hard catches. He can climb the ladder and moss a guy, for lack of better words, but he's also a surprisingly fluid route runner with a lot of different ways to vary his releases and his tempo and, you know, just keep guys on their toes, create natural separation, make the job a lot easier for Tyler Shuck. So I really like this fit. I think him and Olave is very exciting. Ironically, I have Chris Olave as kind of like a stylistic comp for Carnell Tate. I think there is a lot of similarities in the way they move, which is telling because Olave is a very smooth player and Carnell Tate is a lot bigger. And for him to be as smooth as Chris Olave, and I say bigger as in like built bulkier. I can't remember how close they are in terms of actual height and weight, but like Tate just looks like a more filled out human being. So yeah, I think having those two makes Shuck's life a hell of a lot easier, especially with the addition of Travis Etienne in the backfield and having his boy Juwan Johnson at tight end. With that, it's my pick, isn't it? We're up at the Chiefs.
Yes.
Yeah, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm running this one up to the podium. Give me Jermod McCoy, the corner out of Tennessee. Listen, if we're talking about teams that like desperately need a position, the two starting corners for the Chiefs right now are Noah Williams, channel legend. I love Noah Williams, and Christian Fulton. Like, they need help at corner. They just traded away Trent McDuffie, and Jermod McCoy isn't going to replace McDuffie. They're two different kinds of players. But McCoy is one of these guys that has the kind of intangibles that you're looking for in like a true alpha elite lockdown CB1. I'm not going to say he reminds me of Christian Gonzalez, but I do see some similarities there in the sense that they are, about 6'1", have like decent builds, and they're super, super sticky in man coverage. I mean, Jermod McCoy just did not allow separation during his sophomore year or his freshman year. Really good zone player, reads the field really well with really good eye balance. He's a willing run defender. The truth is, just in terms of the tape, in terms of his profile, there are very few, if any, weaknesses. Like, I'd like to see him get his head around to the ball a little bit better downfield, but like, even then, that's not a huge deal. That is something that is easily coachable. And we're talking about a guy who will be 21 in August. I understand the ACL tear, missing all of last year is going to put people off, but he ran the 40 at his pro day, still ran a sub 4.4. It's clear that he's still athletic, has not lost a step. This is a gamble per se, maybe not as safe as a Mansour Delane, but I think Jermod McCoy has everything you're going to want in a true CB1. And the Chiefs, like I said, they traded away Trent McDuffie. They are very good at trading away a corner and then immediately replacing them with a better one. You had L'Jarius Sneed into McDuffie. Not saying that McCoy is guaranteed to be better than McDuffie, because McDuffie is an incredible football player, but like, if it happened, wouldn't be shocked.
The injury and missing all of last season definitely scares me, but knowing that he was, like consensus, like top corner, or at least top couple guys at corner in football, like the years before, means a lot. And I think their corner room is absolutely horrendous after moving McDuffie. So it's a very good pick in my opinion. So I've been looking at the board the entire time. That's kind of why my thoughts weren't very on top of it for discussing that. I've been looking at the board and how it's fallen. I haven't loved how it fell for Cincy. So is anyone open to trying to trade up?
Ooh, I was going to say, if you're Cincy, you trade back here.
If not, there's someone who I have no problem taking because I am very high on them.
Hold on, we might get weird here. Give me a second. I think I might have an idea. And I want to be clear, we are not trying to figure out the logistics of these trades. So if we suggest a trade or do a trade that logistically is bad, don't care. Didn't ask. This is for fun.
L.
Cope. I'm going to jump up with the Rams here. I would like to jump up with the Rams.
So from 13 to 10?
I like this.
Yeah, from 13 to 10. If you consent, Jarrett. At number 10 with the Rams, I'm going to take Mekhi Lemon out of USC. And the big reason I want to trade up here is because I'm looking at, if I'm the Rams, I'm looking at the Dolphins at 11, and I'm saying, okay, that team needs something offensively, right? They
Literally
need a
anybody.
receiver. Yeah. And in my opinion, Mekhi Lemon is the best receiver in this class. And so with the Rams, who do have a good receiver core, it's kind of spooky right now because this is like all in for them this year, right? Puka Nacua just checked himself into rehab. Devontae Adams on the last year of his deal isn't getting any younger, likely is not a Ram for much longer. You go out and you get Mekhi Lemon, who is a tremendous number 3 to start his rookie year, and then can blossom into something bigger. I think he has the most like JSN to him out of this entire class. Yes, Jared. Or Grayson. Not Jared.
Wow.
Sorry.
Would he be the Luther Burden of this class?
What? In what sense?
Three becomes a one the next season because you trade everyone away? Or
I mean, I don't think he's ever taking Puka, but
Puka might have like CTE, but like, I mean, he's still a good football player. I don't feel like we're getting rid of him.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, man. There's been rumors that they're kind of looking for a trade partner. It wouldn't happen
Really?
now.
The Rams are the people that don't like to mess with like
Right.
bad
It
issues.
wouldn't happen till the trade
Fair.
deadline, and that's coming from me. That's not like an insider. I don't think that would happen till the trade
Insider
deadline for
Nicole.
sure.
Mhm.
Insider Nicole. But I have heard that rumor passed around more than once.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So to even further that point home, I mean, if that was the case, then absolutely, I think he could take over as a true wide receiver one for this team if they were to get rid of Puka. But no, Lemon is, in my opinion, the best route runner in this class. Really good at the catch point for somebody who is 5'11", sub 200 pounds. Sure, he might get redirected at the line of scrimmage a little bit here and there, but there are plenty of ways to set him up where he's not going to be pressed. And even then, it's not like horrible. You can develop the technique there. He is a young player at only 21 years old. He is, like I said, in my opinion, the most Jackson Smith and Jigba-like of this class, where you're a smaller player that still is capable of making these big acrobatic plays, playing outside of your frame, so to speak. And the Rams have seen firsthand just how dangerous, I don't know why I'm not looking at the camera. The Rams have seen firsthand just how dangerous a guy like JSN can be and how impactful that can be for an offense and how negative it can be for an opposing defense. So I think he would be a perfect fit here. I think this will be a no-brainer for the Rams if they're able to go get him. And honestly, given, like I said, this is an all-in year for the Rams. You're really throwing everything at the wall there and trying to make it work. I don't care what it takes. If you got to go up and jump the Dolphins to get him, I think you go up and jump the Dolphins to get him. Excuse me.
Personally, I like Lemon a lot, but that's about it.
So this does make things interesting for the Dolphins, because I think there's realistically 3 directions they go here. I think they could take literally any soul on the planet, and it would be a good pick, because they just don't have anybody, it feels like. I don't think they take a flyer on Jordan Tyson, even though I think they should. I'm a little biased, but I don't think they take a flyer, so I think this would remove wide receiver from the conversation. They could go corner, which is a desperate need, because right now they have all name team Storm Duck out there, and great name. I don't know how good he's been. They also have Marco Wilson out there, so it's just like yeah, it's a little rough. But they could also go off. They could need offensive tackle. I think they're going to be leaning heavy on the run this year. Devon Achane is going to get the ball a lot because Malik doesn't have like anybody to throw to. I mean, what do they still have? What's the tight end's name? He dated Kelsey Plum, and he was a rapper.
Darren Waller.
Yeah, him.
Shout out Kelsey Plum, love of my life, brother.
See, I removed the Waller part from my brain. He doesn't exist to me, and I really like Francis Mayoga here, but I also really like Mansour Delane here. But I think they desperately need corner. I'm gonna go Mansour Delane. Like I said, they kind of have the 4 of us out there at corner right now, and they desperately need anybody. I mean, if they're gonna win a game this year, which they will, they'll be kind of fine. They're gonna need somewhat of a defense, and they need corners desperately. They're barren out there.
You know, I don't disagree with that. I think Delane is another guy in this class who could definitely become like a true alpha number 1 corner. And at this point, like you said, with the Dolphins, you need anything. I mean, this team is truly depleted of talent, and going out and getting a guy at one of the most important positions in football, somebody that you feel can be a true number 1, again, a little bit safer arguably than Jermod McCoy, who, again, McCoy's my number 1, Delane's my number 2, but I have like almost identical grades on the 2 of them. It would be a big pickup for them, especially with Mekhi Lemon kind of getting swept right out from under them right before they picked.
Give me Mayoga here. The Cardinals need an opposite to Paris Johnson, who's been better than I feel like most people will tell you, but they still desperately need like O-line help. It was still, I mean, they need to build the trenches. That is something I feel like the Cardinals have neglected for like ever. And like getting Paris Johnson, like in ultimately a trade that maybe doesn't look so good on paper now, considering the day of the recording, they paid Will Anderson, you know, the guy they traded out of position for Paris Johnson. But they need offensive line help. They need someone opposite Paris Johnson, so we're not putting Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, or Ty Simpson on his back. We'll get to that. On his back this season. They need the help. They need someone opposite. And I love him. I dearly want the Cardinals to take him.
Yeah, I like this pick a lot for them because again, last year, the Cardinals opposite Paris Johnson, it was like 3 different guys, I think, took snaps, and they all looked horrible. Like, it was bad. And Maui Noah is just such a safe prospect, in my opinion. A little bit weird in terms of his actual skill set, because you look at a guy with his build, his size, you expect them to be like a true people mover, like road grader in the run game, and he's just not. He doesn't have as much power as you'd expect him to, but he's a lot more fluid, more agile than you would think. So he does a really good job getting into his kick sets, really good hand fighter, really good mirrorer in pass pro. And he's a good run blocker. Like, I'm not trying to say he sucks at run blocking or anything. He's just not blowing guys off the ball or anything. So I like the pick. I think it's big time for the Cardinals to shore up both tackle spots. Paris Johnson Jr. has been very solid throughout his first couple years in the league, and I think Maui Noah can be even better on the opposite side.
Yeah, especially at pick 12, I think that's an insane pick for Arizona. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he went without them trading back in the first place. I think this is just kind of how the board has fallen. But so, like, the value you get at 12 picking him is absolutely insane, and they get a steal there at 12. It might be considered a reach. I'm very high on this guy, so I'm going to go with Dylan, the Thigh Man himself,
Thieneman.
Oregon. Their defense has holes all across it. It's just not a very good defense. I could have went edge rusher. There's no one I really liked at edge at this spot. I could see them going anywhere in the secondary, whether that be corner, but given, both of the top corners are off the board. So I decided to go with safety. I know he's not on the same level as Caleb Downs, obviously, but I still think he is a very, very good player, and I think that he would be a very good pickup for the Bengals. Again, it might be a little bit of a reach per se based on like expert, scouts and whatnot, but I like the pick there at 13.
Not only is Thieneman a fantastic player, but he's also a fantastic scheme fit for the Bengals. I just, as Grayson did earlier, did a little research because I wanted to make sure I had the number right. 55% of the Bengals defensive snaps last year were ran with a middle field closed coverage. So cover 1, cover 3, something where you have a true center fielder. And Dylan Thieneman is the best true center fielder, single high safety, whatever you want to call it, that has come out of college in the past decade. Like, he is tremendous, being the one guy, your one far back defender who can see the entire field, watch it all develop in front of him. His eyes are fantastic in zone. His ability to trigger downhill in coverage against the run, fantastic. He would be a dream fit for the Bengals. And honestly, I wouldn't have even been mad at you taking them with the 10th pick that they had originally.
That's what I was tempted to take with the 10th pick, but I was it's a little high.
Yeah, he would be the best safety in a lot of other classes. He just happens to be in the same class as somebody that I would consider truly generational with Caleb Downs. So I think this pick would be absolutely perfect for the Bengals, especially with how bad their defense has been.
There's a pick here that would make a lot of sense, in my opinion, but there's also a pick that I feel like is more fun. And I really want to do the fun pick, but
I think there's one that's a little bit of both, personally.
I think so. The one that makes the sense more so for me, they just lost Isaiah Likely in free agency. I personally love Mark Andrews, tight end being my favorite position. Mark Andrews has been a staple of the position for a while, but he is getting up there in age. He was still pretty solid last year, but he's on that decline. So while Isaiah Likely was viewed when he was drafted to be the replacement for Mark Andrews, obviously that's not happening with him in New York now. So why not go with the best tight end in this class and go with Sadiq out of Oregon, which I just realized I picked 2 Oregon people back to back. But he not only is a good receiving weapon, freakish athlete, he is underrated as a blocker. I think he could fill in with that Isaiah Likely role and be a lot of fun for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense. I could also see them going receiver if, say Lemon was still there. Hypothetically, if Cornell Tate slides a lot, I could see that as well. But I think you still get a weapon for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect fit. Ione is my dream pick for the Ravens. I think he would be such a perfect fit for them. But if he's not there, Sadiq is a close second because, like you said, hyper athletic tight end, Very underrated blocker, somebody that's 6'3", 240, but he's stocky and like filled out, and he really gets behind his pads and likes to get dirty in the run game. He's somebody that you can play in different spots. He could be an inline tight end. He could be a wing tight end. You can play him out of the backfield a little bit as like not quite a fullback, but an H-back. He's fun. He's really fun. He's really exciting. He would be a perfect Isaiah Likely replacement. Give Lamar another weapon. I love that fit.
See, funny enough, I don't know if I mentioned it, or when I mentioned earlier about Ione having a team in mind, wanting to pick him, it was with Baltimore at 14. So, but hey, it works out. You still get an insane weapon, and I think that would help their offense a ton.
The Ravens' offensive line is upgraded anyways because they got rid of Daniel Falele. So, win-win. And then the Giants sign Falele and replace him with Ioane. So, everybody winning, in my opinion. Objectively, though. Not just in my opinion. It's objective. Falele is really bad.
Yeah.
Nicole, do it. You got to do it.
Someone has to. David Bailey.
Yeah. This is the correct pick.
Because they're going to take an edge at this point. Shut up.
Throwback.
I love Mezzador with all my heart. I'm not as big on Keldrick Falk, I think, as others. But like, if Bailey's still there, you take him. Miller doesn't like him. I don't like him. I'm afraid the Cardinals are going to take him at 3. You know, like, there's a lot of places Bailey could go at this rate. I don't think he's here at this point in the draft. But if he is, regardless, I think they're taking the top edge rusher left. If Sadiq is gone at that point.
Yeah. And listen, I'm not a David Bailey fan. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to try to pretend I'm not a David Bailey fan. I do not see the vision with him as much as a lot of people do. But towards the middle of the first round, I think you can look at just how productive he was as a pass rusher at Texas Tech and say, okay, yeah, we want that. We need production up front. You have good pieces on the interior. Your edge room has been lackluster. You have a good secondary. Like, this is the one position you do need. Would I go Akeem Mezzador over David Bailey? Probably. But I do think there is something to be said about the upside for the two. David Bailey definitely has more upside, is younger by a substantial amount. And, you know, if he can really hit his stride, hit his ceiling, he can be a super, super disruptive and super productive pass rusher. I think the run defending is always going to kind of fall back, or be a step behind, I should say, compared to the pass rushing. But I think you can live with that. If Bailey can replicate like 60% of what he was in college, that's a damn good pick at 15. If he can replicate even, 75% of it, that's a fantastic pick at 15. I think he is absolutely worth a pick here. My pushback is just when we're talking about like top 5, top 10, personally.
The one thing that dominated the offseason when it came to the Jets after what an abysmal season they had in the first place was that they produced 0 turnovers all season. First time it's happened since like the 1940s, something like
0
that.
interceptions. Did they force a fumble?
Turnovers. I think they had forced fumbles.
Right.
If they
had no
interceptions. It was just no.
Yeah.
I know it's no interceptions, most definitely. I didn't know. I can remember some.
Well, Grayson, they got Nashawn Wright. They don't need it anymore. He'll let up 1,000 yards and have 1,000 picks.
I'm gonna miss him though on the reel.
I think you probably would trade back here. I think you can take a little bit of a reach here with Colton Hood from Tennessee.
Ooh, okay.
Because you need turnovers.
Okay.
I don't.
I was gonna take Abney, but
I like that.
I didn't like how far back he was.
Yeah, Abney had 16.
You need turnovers. You need something. Oh, we got Hart Nicole.
Yeah. Keith Abney, my beloved.
That was the thing. You would.
I like Keith Abney, but at
theoretically,
16, that'd be a lot.
theoretically, you would trade back. Yeah, that's what I say. You trade back, take Abney. I like Abney a lot, but like he's a little high up here. So Hood's a little high up here. You go back if you can, but I'm not gonna.
I was going to say his blend of athleticism and physicality and ball production, I definitely think that's worth a look here. I'm not as deep into corners as I am some of the other positions. It's kind of like the last position where I got to really rein everything in is corner and then a couple linebackers that I have. But I don't know that I would have a first round grade on Hood, but I definitely think there is merit here, especially with losing Sauce Gardner. Kind of sucks that neither Delane nor McCoy could fall for them, but Hood, maybe not as complete of a player as those guys, but you like the traits, you like the ball skills, you like the physicality and aggression. Definitely not a bad pick. So with the Lions here, I'm going to go Spencer Fano out of Utah, the offensive tackle.
Take him to Detroit. No, not Detroit. No, please. Anything with that. No.
They are moving Penei Sewell to left tackle. So that leaves the right side wide open. And Fano, I think, is a very safe tackle prospect. Very good hands, very good feet, really consistent across the board. Not necessarily the most athletic or the strongest or the best run blocker, but he definitely has enough in all of those areas where you're very comfortable with it. I don't know that he's ever going to be like a true all pro type lineman. But I definitely think he can be the right tackle equivalent of what Taylor Decker was for them, which is just consistent, inoffensive, has really good moments, is not somebody you're ever looking to truly replace. I know Brandon Thorne, who was like the O-line guy, has him as his number one tackle. I don't agree with that. I think Maui Noah is better, but Fano is my number two. So I really, really like this pick for Detroit, as much as I would hate it as a Bears fan. I think this is a perfect fit for them. Bolsters up what is a pretty patchy offensive line at the current moment.
Do you like him over Freeling then?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've got Freeling as my 3, and then your boy Ihanachor as my 4. But I do have like similar grades on Fano and Freeling. I just think Fano is a little safer per se.
Freeling has less starts, I'm seeing, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Freeling has more of the traits for sure, and they're the same age, but I think with Detroit and the timeline they have, which is we want to win as soon as humanly possible because they've been like in a contending window, I think Fano is just a little bit of a better fit for them.
I'm really, really surprised this dude is listed this low. As a safety out of Toledo, Emmanuel McNeil Warren.
Bitch.
What can I say? I like safeties, I guess.
And you
My
like
number
the ones
3.
I like.
Well, I like the top 3 a lot. So, I mean, all of them I think are very good players. Obviously, me picking him as the third safety, he's my third favorite. But, we still don't know if Harrison Smith's coming back or not. I don't think that's been confirmed either way. It's just kind of like I guess we'll wait and see what happens. So as of now, I looked it up. It's Theo Jackson starting opposite, Metellus. Metellus very versatile, plays all over the place. So they need a safety regardless, and I think that would not only be a good fit, but it would also be a huge position of need, whether Harrison Smith comes back for max another year or not.
I mean, I'm not quite as high as the consensus on McNeil Warren. I have like more of a day 2 grade on him. He's my safety for behind Downs and Thieneman and AJ Halsey from LSU. But I do think McNeil Warren is a very, very good player. He's athletic. He's big. He's a great run defender. But more importantly, he's got that like let it ride mentality where every single play he is going to gamble, and it's either going to pay off big time or it's going to be some issues for the defense. So I think putting him in that Minnesota defense with Brian Flores, who loves to get freaky and get risky and move guys around and have them do all sorts of different things and wear different hats, I think a guy like Emmanuel McNeil Warren would fit very, very well with him.
Panthers, so I was thinking the Toledo safety, obviously not anymore. I'm going to go with my boy so I can talk about him, Jordan Tyson out of ASU. I understand the durability concerns. To be fair, they were, I don't know if it makes it better or worse, but they were 2 straight years, 2 different injuries to upper body and then lower body. He tried to play on the hamstring last year, probably shouldn't have, even when he tried. Aggravated it more. But man, you can just for Bryce Young, you could just throw him a 50-50 ball. He's a great 50-50 guy. His skill set will match perfectly for Bryce Young, just being able to say, okay, he's down there somewhere, because I saw Sam Levitt do it a ton last year when he was on the field. He can create space. He's, I think, one of the best route runners in the draft, and he can turn on a dime. I mean, he's just his footwork is impeccable. There are not enough good things to say about Jordan Tyson. Obviously, I'm biased because I'm a Sun Devil, but I have front row seats to him when he played for the past 2 years. This guy is just as good, if not better, as everyone is saying, and he would be wide receiver 1 if it weren't for some of the injury concerns, which are valid, but I think a little overblown. But obviously GMs are going to be like super scared by it, and I understand. Yes, Grayson.
Are you talking wide receiver 1 in the class or on the Panthers?
In the class, Grayson.
In the class.
I just wanted to confirm because people might get upset if you say that over Tet.
I think he could end up being the wide receiver 1 on the Panthers.
I do
Over Ted, over U of A guy, by the way.
I was gonna say I love Tet. Tet's incredible. I'm with Nicole though. I think Tyson's fantastic.
So
I think his
my
skill
only
set
input-
is more of a wide receiver 1 versus Ted. I think Ted's a great wide receiver too, but Tyson is your guy.
So I like Tyson a lot. Again, my only concern is the injury thing, which is a big concern from a lot of people. I think if taking that out of account, I think he should have went before Carnell Tate up at 8. My only question, which isn't like necessarily a criticism of the pick, I just feel like the Panthers would kind of be a weird pick using a first round pick on a receiver. What is this, 3 years in a row?
They already came out and said that's on the table.
Okay, well,
Like there was a
let 'em
statement
cook.
made recently that was on the table.
Let him cook,
I mean,
man.
when one of the high picks you spent on a receiver was Xavier Leggett, I think take it.
He talks funny.
He does, but he also plays football funny, and by funny I mean not very good. I'm with Nicole 100%. I think in terms of pure raw talent, Jordan Tyson is the best receiver in this class. Again, I'm not somebody who gets super into comps, but the way he moves, with how fluid he is, with how instinctive he is as a route runner, there's a lot of Devontae Adams to his game. And Tay Adams is one of the best route runners this league has ever seen. And also Jordan Tyson was in the very exclusive 3+ yards per route run camp with this class. Not a lot of big names in that group. It's Tyson, some deep threats, and then like Bryce Lance from North Dakota State. And he's at North Dakota State. It's not like he's playing the cream
Isn't
of the crop
he
over
also
there.
just a deep threat?
He is, but there's a little bit more nuance to him than just like literally. When I say deep threat, I mean literally like MVS. Like just go.
Oh, just their only catches are
Yeah.
go down there. He's down there somewhere.
Yeah, no, he Lance like actually runs routes. He's not a fantastic route runner, but he does run them. Point being with Tyson though, like Nicole obviously hit the nail on the head. I'm not going to spend too much more time on it, but I like the fit a lot. I like that a ton, and I do think like much love to Tet, Tyson could be a number 1 for them, and I don't think that would take away from Tet also being a number 1. I think it would kind of be like a Bengals situation where T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are both very good wide receivers that could be a 1 on other teams if the other one wasn't there. I think it would be a similar situation with Carolina, and that's a great way to maximize the talent around Bryce Young.
Bryce Young would be a very happy guy.
Mm-hmm. Feel like a little kid going, yay!
Yippee!
It's like the gif of the cat like jumping up and down in front of the beer. That'd be Bryce Young on draft night.
And they're going to do something I personally hate. I personally don't want them to do. It is not what I would want. It is Miller, what the fuck? It is not what I would want. I want to be clear. It is far from it. But I've accepted. It's going to happen.
No.
It's Ty Simpson.
Input.
It's Ty Simpson.
Punisher gif.
No.
No.
You need the Walter White Breaking Bad, the no on the window. Yeah, I think I have to accept.
I can mean the
reality.
fuck out of this whole video.
That'd be great.
Good.
That's
I
crazy.
think they take Ty Simpson. I think I need to accept my fate that Ty Simpson is probably QB1 for the Arizona Cardinals next year. And they're going to miraculously pull off like 5 or 6 wins and not be in a position to draft like, I don't know, Arch Manning next year. I do not think this is the move at all. I want to be, yeah, Arch is the move. I don't think this is a move. I should talk about some of the good, but I don't know what there is. I'm going to be so real. I do not see what other scouts see. I do not see what Dan Orlovsky sees. And he's not the only one, to be fair, who sees it. They see him as better than Fernando Mendoza. Some of them do. I don't see it. Here's what you could say. Right. Here's what you could say in his favor. Ryan Williams fell off a cliff last year. He had to do a lot of hero ball last year. Got them to the playoffs, had a 17-point comeback versus Oklahoma, and then did absolutely nothing versus Indiana in the Rose Bowl. I think he has the pocket presence of a squirrel. I don't think he sees receivers downfield. I I think when he anticipates routes, like you see on some throws, I honestly think they're still not thrown super well. I still think that'd be picked in an NFL game, and it's not in college because they're college kids. So I think he got away with a lot of that, which favors his tape. But I don't see any of what anybody else sees. Listen, he proves me wrong. He proves me wrong. He's great. He's successful. Cardinals franchise quarterback forever. Cool. I don't see it. And not to mention, this dude has 14 NFL starts? Or 14 college starts? 13, 12, something like that? We've seen that a few times, haven't we? Recently, and it hasn't worked. We've seen it with Trey. We've seen it with Mitch. Love him. We've seen it with various guys where I act like he's dead. but we've seen it with various guys over the past 10 years, and it doesn't translate. And I don't think Ty Simpson's any different, even if he's played in a more pro-ready offense, if you will. Which even then he didn't, because Alabama wasn't that good last year. So yeah, that's my sad Ty Simpson rant. Go ahead.
My input, right? So you mentioned he had to play hero ball because, Ryan Williams fell off. Maybe Ryan Williams' fall off had a lot to do with bad quarterback play. You also mentioned he had to come back against Oklahoma, whoop, whoop. Have you ever considered Oklahoma is not a good football team? And then did nothing against Indiana, who is a good football team. I'm connecting the dots here, and I think this guy's just not very good at football. You know what the Cardinals should do instead of picking him? Not pick him, sign me as an undrafted free agent, and I will do just as much as he could have done.
See, that's
respectfully.
Honestly kind of what I want the Cardinals to do. I don't want them
sign
to
me? Hell yeah.
Yeah. I know. Get paid, man. I don't want the Cardinals to even think about taking a quarterback till round 5. And if they do, I want it to be, and I'm not big fans of anybody but Mendoza in this class. I think this is a very weak QB class. But I would be so okay. Hell, I'd be okay with Ty Simpson in the 4th round. I'd be okay. Fine. You love him. He was still there. I won't debate it. But I would be so okay on day 3 if it's Garrett Nussmeier, who I still don't love. Oh my God, why is the other guy's name escaping me? Drew Aller,
Cool. Yeah.
who just tore his ACL. But he's also one of those guys where if he wasn't injured, I think we'd be talking about him the same way we were talking about Ty Simpson. Where it's oh my God, guys, he's so good. He has all this talent potential, and he just doesn't do anything.
See,
I think we'd
feel
be talking about him the same way. He's just more of a what if because Penn State was bad and he tore his ACL. So I would be more okay with taking a flyer on them in day 3 than I would Ty Simpson day 1.
I feel like Aller is he has the physical tools, but just hasn't put it all together on the field as much per se. But the
survival skills of a lemming or something.
I get what you're saying with the whole would be in comparison to Tyson with the injury stuff, but I just feel I still wouldn't have him as a super top talent like I would Tyson. I don't know if that's what you were saying or if I'm just misinterpreting.
No,
it.
I was just my point was I would be more okay with taking a flyer on the Nuss Buzz or Aller on day 3 than I would be Tyson on day 1 or Ty Simpson on day 1.
Fair.
You signed you might have to pay Jacoby Brissett now. You got Gardner Minshew in free agency. Just roll with it. You've accepted your fate. Why won't you just sit down and die?
I mean, I am 6'4", 210. I am undraftable free agentable,
Undraftable free agent.
Undraftable free agentable right here. Hit my line, Cardinals.
Hit my line.
Listen.
I'll give them your number.
Cool.
In defense of Ty Simpson, there's a little bit there, right? I think he's decent enough in terms of his pocket awareness and his ability to step up in the pocket to deliver a throw. He has a decent arm. He has decent tools. The problem is everything about Simpson that I want to say is good or a positive is decent. He's already 23 and he doesn't have a ton of upside in my opinion. So he's the second best quarterback in this class for sure.
By default.
Right. Yeah. It's just because high floor, low ceiling. And with a quarterback, if you're going to find success in today's NFL, you're not getting it with high floor, low ceiling. That just doesn't happen. And also, to Nicole's point, with the amount of games he's started, less than 20 starts for a first-round quarterback. Brother. Yeah, no, he's...
Extremely raw, to put it lightly.
We'll
Extremely raw.
We'll see. I will say, I don't know if it was apparent by my celebrating, but I'm very glad he's not sitting here at 21, if we're good to move
For
on.
the Steelers, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't pick
I
Tyson.
want to add one more thing.
Yeah.
So, kind of how Nicole mentioned his pocket awareness was horrible. So, from what I've seen from the games I've watched, right, Ty Simpson in the pocket is the equivalent of me at a bar in a room full of pretty women, horrified and doesn't know what to do with themselves. So, like, no.
You're not wrong.
It's a no from me, dog.
Yeah, I hate to keep harping on the guy, but I don't see what everybody else sees. I really don't. I've tried, and it's not there. Because when he faces actual NFL defenders on the other side, and not just actual other college kids, kind of like Drew Aller, he kind of freaks out.
With Pittsburgh here at 21, this is an easy one for me. I'm going to go with Emmanuel Pregnon from Oregon. Just a really, really safe, high floor, good NFL guard prospect. More of a pass blocker than a run blocker, but I anticipate Aaron Rodgers is going back. He's going to do his I want to be the center of attention. I might come back. I might not. And then he's going to come back because at the end of the day, he can't stand being out of the spotlight. So you want to protect him. You want to make sure that his old, frail, fickle body that is filled primarily of hot air can be protected, right? And I think Pregnon
and that
is...
or Vectormine or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he is a very good guard. He's not as good as Ioane. Ioane, I think, is the best guard prospect we have seen since Quentin Nelson. But Pregnon would be the top guard in a lot of classes over the last few years. So I think this one's pretty straightforward. I think as a player, Pregnon is pretty straightforward. Big guy, smart player, really good pass blocker, decent run blocker, could get a little bit better there. And he is a plug-and-play day one starter for Pittsburgh. Yes. Yes, Grayson.
I propose
Yes.
Speak
not
Grayson.
protecting Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, I would love to not protect Aaron.
I don't think they really need to take an edge in round one. It's not a huge hole either. Something that the Chargers have been lacking for quite a while now is a wide receiver one, and there is someone on the board who I think has wide receiver one potential. This is going to kill me to say. I'm going to have to wash my mouth out with soap after doing this, but I am going to pick an Aggie. I'm going to pick Kevin Casey Concepcion. I
Life
hate
begins.
the Aggies, but
Life begins at conception.
but
Doesn't actually.
Not
We are
true.
this is
true.
a pro-choice channel. Want to make that clear.
Just a joke.
It's just a funny thing.
But despite him being a dirty, stupid Aggie, I think he has potential to be a wide receiver one, and that is something that the Chargers have been lacking for a while. I think that would be a solid pick. I think he would day one be the best receiver they have, and would help out Justin Herbert a ton.
Interesting. Okay. I don't know that's where I would have went personally. I definitely see the vision. I'm not saying it's a bad pick or anything. Me personally, I do think edge is a pretty notable need for them because God love Khalil Mack. He is my favorite non-bear in the entire NFL at the moment, but he's old. He's not coming off of, but he suffered a pretty major injury last year. It's clear his body isn't necessarily what it once was. He's lost a step. He's still a very competent player, very quality player, but you kind of got to start thinking about life after Mac. And we know the meta in the NFL is having as many pass rushers as you possibly can, as many guys as you can deploy as possible. And with Mac and with Tuli Tuipulotu, I think they would benefit a lot from adding another pass rusher. But that being said, I do think Concepcion in this offense with Ladd McConkey and with Quentin Johnston would be really interesting. I don't know that they'd go this route right after picking Trey Harris in the second round last year, but then again, Trey Harris wasn't exactly a superstar, so I don't know. I don't think receiver is a huge need for the Chargers, but I definitely, in terms of vibes, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Big time vibes pick, for sure.
Grayson, you got something? Oh my god, he's so delayed.
No.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
just what it's like normally talking
I
to
can
Grayson.
come-
His stream
One
isn't
sec,
delayed.
It's just his brain, the gears are turning. Just...
I was gonna say those gears are grinding. Do you know what you're doing with the Eagles?
I do. Why?
Okay, good.
I don't know if you're gonna like it, but
What position are you looking at?
I was gonna pick a receiver.
Ooh, is it the guy that caught from Fernando Mendoza?
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me over Omar Cooper Jr.
Yeah.
You gotta leave that in. Leave that in, please. Yeah, I think. Now, listen, Howie isn't usually the one to be like preparing for future absences. Because I think Freeling or Miller are also good picks here for offensive tackle, offensive line. But I think they could use a receiver because I think AJ Brown is gone by the trade deadline. Just gonna say it. If he's gone by next week, I'll be amazed and also like, hell yeah, let's go. We're having fun now. Because I love trades. Trades are fun. But if AJ Brown's gone and Devontae Smith's your wide receiver 1, I'll love to Devontae Smith. He's not a wide receiver 1 though. I think you need a 2 guy next to him, and whether they're sharing that 1-2 rep or whatnot, Omar Cooper Jr. is amazing. His strength, his size, his speed. I wouldn't say he's not the best route runner in this class, but he's another guy you can kind of just throw up the ball and everything sticks to his hands. So I think he'd be a great pick here. I also like Casey Concepcion or whatever. But if he's off the board, I think Omar Cooper Jr. is a great pick here. Great fit.
Yeah. The big thing with Omar Cooper Jr. is kind of wondering how his route tree that he did not get to run will translate to the next level, because Indiana really did not have him doing a whole lot. No. It was a lot of deep shots, a lot of pretty basic routes. And in the routes that he ran, there was a little more wasted movement than you'd like to see, just not as precise, as fluid as maybe you'd want. But I see a lot of DJ Moore in his game, where he's a really good after the catch player, better at the catch point that you'd think, strong, physical guy. I think he would fit perfectly with Philly. Is another guy that can go up and win downfield despite only being about 6 feet tall. So I like that. I like that a lot. And even if, like, by some miracle, somehow AJ Brown woke up one morning after a dream, it was like, guys, Jalen was right the whole time. I wish to stay in Philadelphia. I think Omar Cooper would be a great number 3 in that scenario, but it's not going to happen.
So Titus Howard isn't a good offensive lineman. He is like replacement level at his best. Dwan Jones, I liked him coming out of college. He's still very, 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 very much of a replacement level player. So you have to get an offensive lineman to replace someone as best as possible. I'm just gonna yap until you guys catch up, or I catch up to you. I don't fucking know what's happening. Anyways, we're gonna go with Freeland.
Okay.
Oh my God, that did not. Why is he not picking? There we go. Holy shit, that took forever.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm understanding is you
Is my
think
stream
that
ahead of me?
Juwan Jones is the absolute most replacement level player ever with the amount of berries you use.
Yeah.
You've never seen a more replacement level player
Yes.
ever.
No.
He's an interesting projection because he has all the physical tools you want. He's only 21, 6'7", 316 pounds, almost 35-inch arms, decent mover. Like, he is a really, really good physical specimen for an NFL tackle, especially for a potential franchise tackle. The problem is he's super inexperienced. He's very green. And what Georgia was having him do at tackle, he didn't get a ton of true pass reps. I'm pretty sure he only had 98 reps as on true pass sets. So he's a little bit behind the 8 ball, probably not someone you're going to start right away, someone that might get like a redshirt rookie year, for lack of better words. So I like that. I like that a lot for Cleveland. And unless you guys have anything else to say, this makes my job at 25 with Chicago very difficult.
I'm excited for this.
Yeah. So, Jarrett, do you have anything before we move on?
I do not, no.
Okay. So here's the thing. All of the guys that I would consider at 25 are still here. The only guy that isn't here that I would have liked is Thieneman, but other than that, everyone else is sitting here. So I'll walk through my thought process because we're Bears fans. A lot of the people who follow me are Bears fans. I'm going to walk through my thought process for all three guys. We're going to start out with the, I think, obvious pick, the highest rated player on my board out of these guys, and that's Akeem Mesidor. I think Mesidor is the second best defensive end edge rusher in this class. Fantastic pass rusher, really solid run defender, really, really good hand usage, good athleticism, really smart, takes good angles, really good footwork. He is the whole package at defensive end, edge, whatever you want to call it. The problem is just that he is 25. However, the Bears are in a win now contending window where they can afford to take a 25-year-old pass rusher. If you are a team taking Mesidor, you're not worried about what he's giving you 4 years down the line, worrying about his rookie deal running up when he's 29, 30 if you pick up the fifth-year option. He made the pick for me, and that wasn't the pick. I'm just going through him as one of the potential options, and he's delayed, so he's not going to hear me. But Mesidor is Mesidor is very enticing for me. I love Mesidor. He's one of my guys in this class. The other big defensive name that I'm looking at is Peter Woods out of Clemson. The problem being, Peter Woods is someone I got around to very, very late. In fact, I finished up my evaluation of him this morning. And I'm going to be real, man. I was not as excited about him walking away as I was walking it. 2024, dominant player, super, super exciting, super, super enticing. He dropped 30 pounds to get down to 298 for his final year. And my God, was he underwhelming. I think the biggest thing with Peter Woods is the fact that he has a deep bag of moves. It's just that none of those moves are fleshed out. So yeah, he can tap into all these different things, spins, chops, swipes, rips, whatever. None of them are especially dominant. He's got a jack of all trades, master of none thing going on with his hands. Also, not a super strong player. I would like to see him bulk back up a little bit after dropping down from 330 to 298. It's also a really deep defensive tackle class. So I bring up Peter Woods. I think he is the least likely for me. The other really enticing player here for me is Max Ihanachor out of Arizona State. The problem being he is a developmental prospect who is a little bit older. He's 23, has only been playing football since 2021. So he is a little bit behind the curve in terms of some of his technique, but he has all of the athleticism you want. You would fit perfectly in Ben Johnson's zone scheme as a tackle that can get out on the move and do a lot of different things. Honestly, I think he would be in contention for the starting spot right away, especially because he'd be playing next to Joe Thuney. And I mean, we need tackle help. We don't know what Ozzie Trapillo is going to look like when he comes back from his ruptured Achilles. And we have Braxton Jones and Canadian Eagle. What's his name? 79 Benedette.
I knew what it was until you said that.
Yeah, Theo Benedette are option, and Jedrick Wills are our options at left tackles. So it's kind of do you want to get the edge rusher now and wait to potentially add an offensive tackle? Or do we say, listen, we've got Montez Sweat, we've got Austin Booker, who I am obviously super high on. We can stomach maybe not getting a tier 2 edge rusher in this class and take the offensive lineman. And honestly, I think that's the route I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Ihanachor here, just because I do think Montez Sweat is fine. He's not fantastic. He's fine. I think the bigger issue for us right now is the interior of our defensive line. And honestly, in an ideal world, we're not making this pick. We are sending this to New York for Dexter Lawrence. I am still very much holding out hope. That becomes more and more realistic of a possibility every day. But, I think if we do have to make this pick, you take Ihanachor now and then get a Grayson Halton or a big citrus Dominique Orange later on. Or at edge, if Gabe Akis is available towards the end of the second round, where you have 2 picks, or even a Malachi Lawrence or Zion Young if he ends up slipping. I don't think Zion Young would be on Ryan Poles' board given the off-field stuff. But point being, I think Ihanachor would be the better pick for us. But if we went Mesidor, I also wouldn't be mad. And if we went Peter Woods, I could talk myself into it. So don't give me TJ Parker, for the love of Christ. That's all I want to say here.
He was primarily a left tackle in college, but a lot of scouts have him moving to the right side of the ball, which is going to be Caleb Lomu from Utah.
Fuck you.
Okay.
He's doing it again.
I was like, why do you hate me? I'm sorry. I apologize. But
Again.
so they have Dawkins obviously at left tackle, so it's not like a need. He's a very good left tackle. On the other side, they have Spencer Brown, who I don't think is like horrible or anything. He's an average lineman. He definitely could be, upgraded, and I think Lomu is a very, very good pick for falling to 26.
Yeah, and he also has that guard flexibility. Like, he has enough core strength to anchor against bigger, stronger offensive linemen. And so if the Bills don't want to move Spencer Brown don't want to bench Spencer Brown, which I think would be very possible, or if maybe they want to take Lomu with anticipating that Deion Dawkins here in a couple years isn't going to be around because he is in his 30s at this point, you could start Lomu at guard and then kick him out to tackle or something later on. I think that would be a nice versatile pick just to further protect newfound girl dad Josh Allen for sure.
For the Niners, so hopefully Trent Williams is back and all is well and fine in the world. Regardless if he's not, though, he's still 38. Like, or going to be, You're going to need a replacement one day. And you could use some help to bolster the O-line anyway. If Max isn't there, if Caleb isn't there, because those are the two guys I was eyeing, I think you go with Blake Miller out of Clemson at this point. I think you could still throw him in, I think, at this rate, whether Trent Williams is there or not. But you need a plan first, and you're drafting this far back anyway. I think they go O-line regardless.
Yeah, I like that a lot for the Niners. Blake Miller, again, another guy that has the traits you want: 6'7", 317 pounds, 34.25-inch arms, really good run blocker. It's just kind of a matter of marrying his feet and his hands with his ability as a pass blocker. And who better to teach him how to be a dominant pass blocker than Trent Williams, who is one of the true best pass blocking offensive linemen in NFL history. I think that would be a huge get for them. I think he would definitely fit. He's got the demeanor. He's got the physicality as a tackle that you want to see. Shanahan would probably fall in love with him for that reason. I don't know that he's necessarily as athletic as Shanahan would like, but I definitely think there is enough there. Like, point being, athletically, he's not prime Trent Williams, where you can put him at fullback and motion him and shit and have him blow guys up. But, he's more athletic than the average NFL tackle. So I like that.
And he has
like
a ton of starts under his belt.
Yes.
More than the other guys that have already been taken. So
Yes.
That is a huge plus. I think Shanahan would like.
And I definitely think as well, out of the guys that are left, he is the best tackle. I'm not quite as high on Proctor, and I don't think Proctor would be a fit for Shanahan at all. So I like that.
See, weirdly with Proctor, there's been rumors coming out where the Browns are interested in taking him as high as 6.
I get it, but it's a big... It crashed. Grayson's computer hates him. It's tough for me because I definitely see why people like him a lot. The problem is you are really, really projecting hard with Proctor because we're talking about a guy who was at 380 allegedly when he was playing at Bama, dropped down into the 340s for the combine, and might drop even lower at the NFL level. So it's like, how does his movement translate? How does his strength translate? A lot of those things are kind of question marks. I will say in Proctor's favor, the biggest issue with him, in my opinion, is the fact that he does not move his feet. He locks onto his block and he stands there. That's not how you play tackle. You lock in and you drive your feet, you move the guy off the ball, or at least stick with him, right? Proctor could not do that because he was so heavy. So maybe I'm underselling the upside of him being, in the 340s or whatever. But I don't know. He's also a really good hand fighter. So I could talk myself into him being a high pick. It's just not the route I personally would go, I don't think.
Speaking for the Texans, I'm taking Caden Proctor.
Okay.
They have no one on the O-line. I mean, the left tackle is really, really weak. CJ Stroud needs to not die next season, and putting someone there that, even if he's just heavy and cannot move, is still an obstacle for edge rushers and can give CJ Stroud some time.
Yeah. I will say for the Texans, Proctor, I think I would like a lot more than like for the Niners because they run a lot more gap concepts. So Proctor isn't going to be asked to block out in space and, pull across the line or anything like that. He's mostly going to be like head up, block the guy in front of you. And that's where he's going to be at his best as a run blocker, regardless, I feel. So for the Texans, that would be a big time pick. I would like that for them a lot, especially here at the end of the first round.
And worst case scenario, you move him to receiver, and that's a win.
Last pick I'm going to be making today, and I think the league fucked up if this happens. Akeem Mesidor is still here by some miracle, and the Chiefs getting him to play opposite George Karlaftis would be huge. Walking out of the first round with a guy that I think can be a legit, dominant, true alpha CB1 in Jermod McCoy, and ending up with Akeem Mesidor to be potentially the number one on your defensive line, at least the number two, would be such a... Well, I say defensive line, I mean specifically at edge. Obviously, Chris Jones is the best player on their defensive line, but point being, Mesidor is fantastic. I already did my spiel about him, so I'm going to kind of bite my tongue here, but great hand fighter, solid run defender, really good effort, really good energy. Somebody that a team would be very, very lucky to have on their defensive line, especially a team like the Chiefs, where they are competing right now. His age does not matter to them. They're not worried about 5 years from now. They're worried about this year, where he is already one of the most fundamentally sound pass rushers in this entire class.
I mean, literally could go... I have ghosts, I'm sorry.
It was
The
me.
universe tell you not to.
Yeah, fuck the universe. I'm still doing the pick. But what I was going to say, I think you could draft any, again, with the Dolphins. We mentioned it earlier. I think Nicole had made the pick with Mansour Delane. You could draft literally any position and then upgrade because respectfully, that roster is, I'm not going to say it because I could say some very vulgar things about how awful that roster is. And with how the board has fallen, I think you just kind of go best player available. This being my last pick, there's a certain player who I'm really high on, and I was hoping to pick him, but I just think it wouldn't make as much sense because Nicole, I actually don't think you're going to pick him because you mentioned earlier you're not the biggest fan of him. I'm actually going to go Keldrick Falk from Auburn. I do like him as an edge. I think he is solid against the run, which in my opinion adds to your floor as an edge rusher. They already have Chop Robinson on the other side. I think their other starter is Michigan guy.
Shoot.
I
was literally just looking at their roster too.
I was going to say, Nicole is a fraud. She's a Michigan fan and doesn't even know offhand. It's Josh Uche.
Yes.
Uche, yeah.
And they also have David Ajabo.
Oh, yeah.
You're a double fraud.
Yeah, you don't know Michigan.
Two Michigan edge
bro.
players, and you didn't know either of them.
So I think edge again, literally any position would make sense, but I think he was the best player available, so that's who I was going to go with.
He's got a ton of upside, that's for sure. I don't hate him. I just don't. I think he'll be a first round pick, or early second if he falls. His production went down last year on a already weak Auburn team. So granted, he didn't have help getting to the quarterback, but it's just there are just other guys I'd take before him. Is basically my whole thing. But ton of upside.
I want to say something, and this might sound insane, so hate on me if you must. I'm not saying he's exactly like this player, and I've literally never made a comp to a player in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
He gives me similar vibes to a Jared Verse.
Okay.
Call me crazy. I don't do comps, so maybe it sounds dumb. I don't know. But just how their style of play is, I think Verse is a lot stronger and better of a power rusher, but I like them. They both similar in the aspect of their ability to shut down the run. And I just feel like it's a similar vibe to me. Maybe I'm dumb. I don't know. But that's my input.
Me personally, I think I'd push back a little bit on Verse as a comp. Stylistically, sure. In terms of true impact, I think there's a bit of a gap there. I don't think it's bad. Like, I'm not saying you're a stupid idiot. You should shut up and never comp again.
That's my first
I'm
ever
just saying
comp.
I don't subscribe personally. But 20-year-old edge rusher, 6'6", 276 pounds, 34 plus inch arms. I would say he's closer to like a Cam Jordan type of player, where he's like a true big boy 4-3 base end, which the Dolphins do run now with Jeff Hafley. That is maybe the best run defender in this entire class. I think it is between him and Zion Young. He's definitely the best like edge setter in this class. Nothing is getting around him when he's out on the edge. So you have that, and as a pass rusher, there's something. Like there's a little bit of something. There's a tiny bit of upside there. I just don't think he has the highest ceiling because he's not the most athletic player in the league. But his bull rush is good. He can push the pocket. He can collapse the pocket. So end of the first round, I would be okay with it. In the teens, like I've seen him mocked some places, I think that's a stretch. Especially though, if we're looking at this, like, okay, the Dolphins' new regime, they don't want to take a guy like Zion Young that might have problems off the field. Then sure, I can definitely subscribe to that.
For my last pick with the Patriots, I was kind of hoping Mesidor would fall here too, but that's not going to happen anyways. Yeah. I think they could use a little defensive help. I think they could use a wide receiver too if they don't get AJ Brown. If they don't trade for him, but I don't know that I think you could still get a good wide receiver late second round too. I don't think you need to reach for one here. I would take Caden McDonald here. Good D tackle, plug up the middle, and not that I think you really just bolster an already good defense. And for Mike Vrabel, he's an Ohio State guy, another Ohio State guy up the middle. I think it's a good fit. I think in a perfect world, he wants like offensive tackle for Drake May, but I think we go defensive here.
First and foremost, Vrabel would be pissed if Iheanacho went at 25 to Chicago. Like, I think that's who he wants. That clip of him working with Iheanacho at the Pro Day really, I think says a lot, especially because it showed that Vrabel knows a lot about Iheanacho as a prospect, because the biggest issue I have with him as a prospect is his hand usage. What was Vrabel doing with him? He was hand fighting with him. He was working on him with hand usage. Because just to talk about him again, because again, Bears, I love Iheanacho. He clearly knows how to use his hands. There's just hesitation, right? But with McDonald, big, thick, good defensive tackle who isn't like the most developed technician as a run or pass or defender, and he's not going to be a super good pass rusher, but putting him next to Milton Williams, who is a very, very good pass rusher, I think would be a fantastic pairing for the Patriots. That's who just picked the Patriots.
That's the thing. I'm sitting here. I really don't want to do another what was it last year? I picked the Eagles. I think I picked
Buka.
Yeah,
I think he's delayed.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just trying to figure out where we go. There's one guy I think would work, but I don't know. Like, looking at their defense, it's pretty solid, and that's Jake Rodriguez. But I'm not
BPA.
Not
brother.
sold on that.
Grayson, if you don't want to make the pick, can I trade up to 32?
I was gonna ask you if anyone want to trade it up.
I will do it with the Bears.
With the Bears?
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously trading up for Anthony Hill. I
hate telling good people bad news.
I just want it to be known. Call me crazy, call me biased. I don't care. Anthony Hill, linebacker 1.
I'm going to call you a lot of things. Crazy and biased are 2 of them.
Sounds like Rick.
Listen here. This world is different now. You can't put Anthony Hill as your top linebacker.
Just did.
God, that was bad. We're gonna get crazy. I'm gonna take the 4th safety off the board. I'm gonna take AJ Halsey out of LSU. The Bears secondary is not great. We added Kobe Bryant, who fantastic, right? Very, very good player. Someone who is going to make a big impact on the back end. The problem is the Bears lost 2 safeties, not 1. And so with the way the board is sitting, with the way safeties are going off the board, and the fact that I honestly think Halsey is a better safety prospect than Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, I would I think I'd be a little bit upset if the Bears actually did this. But in this scenario where I get to do what I want because it's my channel and it's fun, I would love to see AJ Halsey end up in Chicago in any way, shape, or form. He is a super instinctive downhill player, very good in zone coverage, very, very good against the run. He's a ball hawk. He has everything you want out of a safety. I think he would be a fantastic Jaquan Brisker replacement. Gives Dennis Allen another guy who he can use in different roles, have him wear different hats. He can handle himself in man coverage, which Dennis Allen wants to run more of. And, I didn't like any of the corners that were still available, which is another big need, in my opinion, for Chicago. Defensive line-wise, I already said I'm not exactly super sold on Peter Woods. And with Cade McDonald off the board, I wanted to jump up there, take a safety that I'm very, very big on. I also was considering Gabe Akis, but I think he would be more of a true day 2 player.
Vibes. I'd be down for it.
Like Nicole said, trades are fun.
I still really want them to take Keith Abney, but I don't think he's a guy who was rising to the first round at season's end and then fell off a little bit the more, into the off season we got. From a bias perspective, I'd still love him in like the second or third round because I think that's where he goes.
Yeah. And I want to make it clear too, like, I don't know that Chicago would need, like, let me rephrase that, any team. I don't think Halsey's going to go in the first round. I think he is going to be a day 2 player. I think the Bears could very easily get him at, what do we have, 57 and 60 as our 2 picks. I think that would be very much in the cards. So, but yeah, I think that will do it for this. Do any of you guys have anything you want to plug? I was going to say the link to BDB, our podcast, will be in the description down below. We might start posting on it, or YouTube might delete it. I don't know.
We'll just make BDB 2.
BDB 2 Electric Boogaloo. True.
Exactly.
Grayson, what's your YouTube channel name? I always forget the name of it because you changed it.
It's Grayson Duck.
Yeah, if you want to go watch that guy review movies and video games, where he isn't delayed and can actually talk more than once every 10 minutes, definitely go check that out. He has made some fantastic content over there. But I do think that is going to do it for this video. All of their Twitters will also be in the description down below because I'm a good friend and I plug my friends. That's what's up. Anyways, thank you, Nicole. I appreciate that.
I got you.
That is going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like down below, as it does help out the channel a ton. Shows your support, shows you care, and I really do appreciate it. Also, make sure to subscribe for more NFL content coming your way throughout the week of the draft and beyond. We'll be doing some post-draft content. I want to try to get my own singular mock draft up as well, so be on the lookout for that. Also, make sure to let us know down in the comments below what you thought about this draft, what you thought about the selections, who you think did the best, why Grayson did the worst, things like that. Definitely let us know down in the comments below. But above all else, I hope you all enjoyed. I would say we all hope you enjoyed. And we hope you all have a wonderful day, evening, night, afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. We hope you enjoy it because you're all wonderful people and you truly do deserve it.